French President Emmanuel Macron warns that woke culture imported from the United States is fracturing the foundations of French society. Wait, Emmanuel Macron? Based? Surely not. I see that our society is becoming progressively racialized, Macron told Elle magazine. The logic of intersectionality fractures everything. I stand for universalism. I don't agree with a fight that reduces everyone to their identity or their particularity. Social difficulties are not only explained by gender and the colour of your skin, but also by social inequalities. Macron even cited the plight of, wait for it, young white men who live outside the major cities and are struggling to find employment. Elizabeth Moreno, a black female minister in Macron's government, also recently slammed the threat of cancel culture and censorship in the name of political correctness. Both active duty and retired military have repeatedly warned Macron that civil war is brewing in France, due to the damage caused by the anti-racism movement and huge numbers of migrants who refuse to integrate. Is Macron merely paying lip service to such issues in a bid to fend off the challenge posed by populist candidate Marine Le Pen in next year's French presidential elections? Or have Le Pen and her supporters been successful in forcing Macron to move the Overton window to the right and recognise the desperate plight of France's native population? Is Macron genuine when he lashes out against woke culture and grandstands as a populist, or is he just pandering in the short term for votes? I think we have good reason to be somewhat suspicious. The French government's reaction to the military service members' warning was to dismiss them and demonise them as extremists. Macron's reaction to the Yellow Vest protests, the very embodiment of the disgruntled working class white men he supposedly cares for, was to instruct French police to beat the living hell out of them. Macron labelled the Yellow Vest activists, quote, a hate-filled crowd. When a 73-year-old female Yellow Vest protester was badly injured, Macron said that he hoped it taught her a lesson. A Frenchman who merely tried to organise a Yellow Vest protest was jailed for 6 months. Eric Drouet, one of the movement's leaders, was repeatedly arrested by police in an effort to intimidate others and disrupt organised demonstrations. Macron is an avowed globalist who repeatedly tried to stop Brexit. He's constantly trying to expand the EU and help Angela Merkel create a European army. In his own words, Macron stated, quote, nationalism is a betrayal of patriotism. He's also fully signed up to globalist climate change alarmism, which serves to eviscerate national sovereignty. He literally celebrated winning the presidency by walking out to the EU anthem.
The theme tune of the European Union, interestingly.
And crucially, on immigration, Macron signed France up to the UN Migration Pact that massively increases immigration from African and Arab countries. Top French generals, including General Antoine Martinez, accused Macron of committing treason for signing the pact. The pact redefined criticism of immigration as hate speech. Macron himself has pushed for banning hate speech convicts from all social media for life. Macron said, quote, Europe has its destiny bound with Africa, while citing the work of Professor Stephen Smith. Smith wrote that the number of Africans living in Europe will grow from 9 million to between 150 and 200 million within the next 30 years. During a visit to Armenia in 2018, Macron said that the epicenter of the French language is now not in Paris, but in Africa. In the same year, he said, quote, there's no such thing as a true Dane or a true Frenchman. He once compared European populists like Matteo Salvini to, quote, leprosy. He said that multiple terrorist attacks throughout Europe were not linked to mass migration. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but none of this sounds very much to me like Macron is on the side of populists. It's almost like he's pretending to be a populist in order to hoodwink populists into giving him their votes. Let's not forget, Macron is literally a former Rothschild banker and a Bilderberg member. Doesn't sound very populist to me. I'm not buying it for a second, and neither should the French people. If you really want the fracturing of French society and the problems caused by mass uncontrolled immigration, both of which have got immeasurably worse under Macron, to be properly tackled and not just paid lip service to with empty words in exchange for votes, then vote for Marine Le Pen.